Welcome back to All the Work, my restoration slash refurbishment slash awesomeification of my 1987 Ski Supreme. These videos are now on a new hard drive, and I will be updating them from this part of the process moving forward. Day 92 of my Ski Supreme restoration. Today I am tackling the fairing that I laid down on the driver's side. I want to get this sanded up, see how smooth I got it. Now, if you remember, I really didn't have enough fairing compound. Well, I didn't have enough polyester fairing compound to really complete the driver's side properly. I'm okay with having a little bit of waviness in the floor of the boat. It's a home project. I don't need it to be perfect. I don't need to bowl on it or anything. I just need it to be flat enough that the seat X sticks down to it and holds really good. I am feeling super scattered at this point. I have a goal to have this thing seaworthy and ready to go out on Lake Powell in 2.5 weeks. Friends of ours are heading down. They invited us, and it'd be awesome to have the boat out there. So I am kind of trying to do a lot of things at once. I want to get this floor set up and finished. You want me to be all done doing this, Dylan? Okay. Once I was finished sanding the driver's side floor, I tackled cutting out the new electrical box in the dash. I used a Sawzall and just went for it. Vacuumed up really quick. I got that piece done. After I vacuumed up and cleaned up the driver's side from the dash and the sanding of the floor, I tackled getting the PVC ready to install with the 5200 into the boat. And I just took the Sawzall, held the little pipes of PVC, went up and down the PVC with the Sawzall to kind of checker them up so that the 5200 will have a better chance of biting into scoured up PVC rather than a smooth, clean PVC. And I didn't want to have to sand it or anything. So that was just an easy, quick way to do that. Then I acetoned all the pipes. So the cleaning will go in. I should note that this is one of those times when I'm over doing something else, working on the boat, and I've forgotten to move the camera. And a lot of times I'll chop that section out so you're not just bored with the camera sitting looking at nothing. But there was probably 30 minutes of me setting up for this next step, which is gel coating the rear center panel. Where I was setting up for it, and I didn't have the camera aimed. So then I turned the camera, now you're seeing it. That's my buddy Will. He's coming over, chit-chatting as I'm getting ready to gel coat the center panel. Again, this is part of the scattered day. So I've got the sanding of the floor, the gel coating of the center panel, the 5200 of the conduit, and the LED lights that are going up under the gunnel. And I'll just trying to pack it in, do a chaotic day. Now I must have just mixed up the gel coat in the background there. I did touch up the corners on that front centerpiece with a chip brush before I moved on to the center panel. Got that gel coated. Now, another task for the day, I am installing the shower pump in the back. I always had envisioned putting the pump back here, and for a while I was kind of contemplating put the pump up closer to the front of the boat, but that would put it close to like the electronics and everything. So this is just the right spot to do it. There's a panel that's already on the side of the boat here that I could just drill into. That's where the speedometers were screwed into on the side. So I found the screws that came with the shower, took some washers, made sure that they would go to the same depth as where the speedometer mount used to go. You can see the motor mounted up in there now. So I used washers to make sure that I didn't go too deep into that backing, which I think is a wood backing. Now I did 5200 before I screwed those in, so I should have a good seal, get that hardened up. And so now that the 5200 is opened, I am taking on installing the conduit first. Every little piece of conduit has its own little challenge, and really trying to get it in there without getting it all over the carpet and stuff. Turns out this 5200 has such quick adhesion and is so like sticky right out of the gate and tacky. This was a dream. And I did use some rolls of toilet paper that I shoved up under there to pin the light panels and some of the conduit in place, but I don't even think I needed to. It's more of just a, I don't know, secondary thing. You can see the toilet paper there. I'm just working my way around the boat, putting this stuff up in. I'm loving this 5200 idea. It was great. I did make sure I acetone before everything to clean it up so I get good adhesion, putting conduit all the way around, and hopefully I'm picking all the right spots and doing all the right things. This is a rather long, gratuitous butt shot. Sorry about that. And there it is. I have finished 5200ing in the conduit as well as the LED light panels. I am very happy I went this route and not trying to fiberglass everything up in there. This was a really easy way to do it, and I think is going to hold tremendously strong later on. Now I am taking on starting some carpeting. Again, scattered day, doing everything today. First thing I'm doing is I'm carpeting this front center panel. This front center panel needs to be reinstalled permanently into the boat ASAP because the front dash actually rests on it. And it's probably pretty bad that the dash wasn't resting on it the entire time of the build, but it is what it is. So I needed it in right away, and I wanted to carpet it first because I didn't want the fiberglass to be sitting on fiberglass when the foot goes down from the dash onto that panel. So I wanted to sit on carpet. So I had to lay the carpet out on there. I got that done. And I also want to get the carpet in on the rest of the rails inside the boat where those center panels are set. Again, for the same reason. I don't want to be fiberglass on fiberglass, rubbing, kind of sanding itself away. I want to have some carpet bumpers in there. Hopefully it'll keep any squeaking from happening, keep it a nice quiet ride, and keep it sweet and awesome. Now, if you've done a project like this before, or you're me, at the end of the day, you realize that I've completely blown the order of operations here. I just finished sanding the driver's side. I need to do a finish coat of paint on those rails and around the sides of the driver's side, at the very least, before I lay carpet here, so that you have a good clean look when you're looking down at the cracks in between the sea deck at the next phase of the build. So I totally blow this. I got ahead of myself. I was so desperate to get the carpet done, and I've been battling with temperatures. It's been cold out, and I've really wanted to get some of these things done, get the carpet in, get some of the electrical stuff mounted up, and so I'm just kind of panicking. And also, I'm trying to get to that Lake Powell trip, and I think I'm going to have it ready, and I'm moving too fast and not doing the things in the right spot. That being said, I do make some smart moves here. I took some tape and taped off underneath where the carpet's going to go and put a lip on that tape so that any drip and goop would fall down into that and not down into the bottom. Trying to keep it clean as I move here. And I did get the carpet laid in the front there. You can see the carpet already installed. Now I'm working in the back, working into the corners, so then the panels will sit on this. Now, the rear panel, when I try and mount it up later, tomorrow maybe, turns out that having carpet in there almost makes it too narrow, so now I gotta like sand that panel, and I think it has to do with when I repaired it, I made more wall thickness of that driver's side of the lip where it goes down into the well. So just another issue that I'm gonna have to deal with later. Little tool cleanup here, finishing up. All in all, I got a lot done, and I made a bunch of little progress here and there, but it was a bit of a scattered day. And in hindsight, actually watching this video, I feel better about the day than when I went inside that night. I was like, oh god, that was a total. I blew it that day. Didn't get it done. But after watching this, I actually think I did pretty good work and made decent progress, even though I went out of order putting that carpet onto, at the very least, the driver's side there. But it is what it is, and I live to boat work another day. Day 94 of my Ski Supreme restoration, maybe. In recording the last video, I had a catastrophic failure where Dylan was sitting on my lap and he picked up the hard drive and dropped it as I was transferring the completed video over to the hard drive. That was pretty devastating. So who knows, maybe we just skipped a whole bunch. Or maybe I've had it retrieved and I paid a ton of money and got it all back. We'll see. Pretty devastated right now, but it is what it is. So I finally got the windshield off. I've been putting that off for a long time. I really thought it was going to be a lot harder and a bigger deal than it was. I thought the thing was going to hold together and be one big unit. Turns out it slid into little sections. It was super easy, and I was able to get the whole windshield up in that rack in the back there easily just by stacking them, putting some cardboard in between so they don't get hurt, damaged. And it's going to make either repainting them or I might just use a Sharpie to fill in some of the open metal there to clean them up, make them look better. We'll see. But the windshield's off. I'm psyched about it. I wish I had done it a long time ago. First thing I did once I got the windshield off was bore out the cup holders in the dash so that I can use a proper size koozie around my sodas. Next, I rolled the boat outside and I got my new tool out, a Fordham tool. Now, this Fordham tool I got is actually more for ski boot work than it is for the boat work, but it was a really good excuse to get myself the Fordham for the boat work so that I'll have it for skiing in the winter. Now, Fordham is a rotary shaft tool, great for grinding on things. And what I'm going to use it for is grinding out the stress cracks that need to be ground. Now, I am glad that way back at the start of this project, I did spend those couple nights grinding out stress cracks because I don't have that much to do. And there I am using my little rotary tool. Now, it's a hanging tool, and I got it for the boot work. So I got the hanging version, not the stand on the benchtop version. So I'm just using a stool that I got in the garage to hang my Fordham on as I move around, finish out grinding out the stress cracks. The first bit that I used on it was a little ceramic bit. Worked pretty well, but then later I used a carbide bit with like true teeth, and that worked awesome. Now, those holes that I just drilled out there with the drill and just one of those little, I don't know, hole widener bits, it's a tapered bit, goes in, those holes are all going to get covered by C-deck there. So I didn't spend the time like perfectly grinding out the stress cracks in all those little holes. I just bored them out really big so it covered all the stress cracks. I'm going to fill those with fairing compound and cover them up with a C-deck so they don't have to be super perfect like it does with the rest of it and the stress cracks on the gunnel and everything. So that was a quicker way to do it than just grinding out the stress cracks with the Fordham. Mom is at the gym. All right, kids are taken care of. I am now grinding out the stress cracks that in the center of the console here. Now there's a lot of stress cracks. Once I get out of the way, you get to see how much I really ground away here. I contemplated just taking the grinder and grinding this down and then bracing it up with some more 1708 and doing some fiberglassing and doing a big repair here. And then I just remembered what Doug, my boat guy down in Salt Lake, had said, that it's all going to be fine, that if that's the amount of stress cracking that happened over 33 years, then in 33 years I'll have the same amount of stress cracking. It's no big deal. So I ground out the cracks. I'm going to fill it with fairing and call it a day. Here you get a good look at the flexible shaft of the rotary tool. Again, that thing's hanging on the stool there. The shaft comes up and I can use my rotary there. Here I am fabbing up. That armrest there is going to be a trash can and a recycle can underneath. I bought some brackets at the boat store. I wasn't sure if they're going to work, so I grabbed the brackets, played with it a little bit. Turns out they're going to work great. Yes, Bryce? Recording videos with kids around is a challenge. However, this is how I'm doing it. Now, all of my cup holder holes are a little bit too tight. I got the right size hole boring bit that they recommended on the website. However, the cup holders don't all sit all the way in. So I'm using the Fordham tool and I'm just boring out the holes so that I can get a cup holder to drop all the way into each hole. Not a big deal. Again, is what it is. Got to do it. Working my way around, getting them all ground out, and now my cup holders sit all the way in. It is super cool to be able to get those dropped all the way and get a look at it. And man, it looks a lot better, and I'm super psyched about it. The next thing I did was take on mounting the steering wheel. Now I got to cut a couple extra holes here. This isn't the best view of it. Oh, I switched the view for you. So there's a template on this little piece of paper. The template clearly indicates up. And so I put the template on with up, going up, and I drill my holes, and then I set to cutting out the hole that needs to go through for the new steering wheel. Now, just started raining there. I am dealing with bad temperature and conditions, so the rain came in rather fast there. I got the steering wheel cut out, and then I had to push the boat into the garage quickly. Now, I did pull all the plastic down because the plastic was dirty from all the dust from last season's boat work, and it was nasty, so I wanted to pull it and kind of get the garage starting to be cleaned up. But that means that I can't do any more sanding in the garage because then I'll just get dust all over the good stuff. So now I'm kind of walking around trying to figure out what my next step is inside the garage without doing any grinding. Now that I'm inside the garage and I'm not going to be doing any grinding, I take on fabrication of the in-dash cooler. Now this has been weighing on me for a while. When I was first dreaming up this boat project, this was one of the coolest things that I thought of, and I knew it was going to be a massive challenge. And after doing a bunch of fiberglass work, I realized kind of everything's possible. So I think I can do it. And I think it'd be super awesome to just be able to reach up, pop open the top of the lid, grab the drinks, grab the snacks, whatever, in the dash of the boat. Not to have a cooler right behind the driver's seat, which is always where you got a cooler. So I thought it'd be totally awesome to put an in-dash cooler in. Now, I am running out of time, and I want to get this boat on the water sooner than later. But I kind of decided that I was going to put a good day of effort into it. If I at least put a good day of effort in, try and make the molds. I have an idea of how to make the molds fast using this pink board here, and I just want to give it a shot. I've been dreaming of it for a long time, so here I am. I'm going to just give it a good hard push for a day and see how close I get, and maybe I can actually pull this off. My idea of how to build this thing is to stack together a bunch of 2-inch pink board, glue them together, and then use a hot wire knife to cut out the shape of the in-dash cooler. Now I got an awkward shape for the cooler, which I actually think will make the whole thing even a little bit cooler. So I made this template last season. It matches the shape of the dash. But what I'm going to have to do is actually cut these shapes out of wood so that the wood is the template. So when I trace the hot wire cutter around, it goes around the wood and cuts the pink board the correct shape. Pretty simple. So here I am fabricating that wood and getting ready to do the hot wire cuttering. There's my first template that I made. Now, as I was making these templates, I realized that instead of making the one smaller template and then wrapping foam around the mold that I make as I build it up from the plug, I am going to make 2 molds, 2 plugs, sandwich them together, and then fill the insides with foam, and that's going to make a way better insulating cooler, and it's actually going to be easier in the end. It's going to be super cool. So that's what I'm trying. I'm cleaning up and live to boat work another day.